Morning. This is a quick message following up on yesterday's video about reading. And I don't think it really matters what you read as long as you're reading something. Although different values will be given to you by different books, I think it's just important to dive into the self-help genre a little bit, but also, just reading anything will make you think and talk differently, communicate differently within your relationships. And this is Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday. And this author, Ryan Holiday, is actually a pretty interesting dude. He was the apprentice of Robert Greene, who wrote 48 Laws of Power, which is a pretty popular book that teaches some very interesting lessons. It is not as easy as a read. This book, on the other hand, is perfect for people looking to get back into reading. Chapters are like 3 to 5 pages mostly, a lot of 4-page chapters that you just pick up a little piece of wisdom. There's a lot of stuff from the Stoics in here, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and several others. I really like Ryan Holiday. He's devoured books for the past 2 decades, and this is what he's boiled it down to. So he's done the legwork and read countless books, just books upon books that you would never read, because he was doing research for Robert Greene and trying to just squeeze any little nectar out of books that were kind of on the fringe of. Robert Greene didn't want to read them, so what he would do is have Ryan Holiday go out and see, is there anything here? So it's kind of interesting. And this is another book that I'm reading right now called Personality Isn't Permanent. And I'm only about 25% through this so far, but just really interesting perspective and food for thought on how you can sort of create the personality for yourself that you would like to put out there. And it sort of debunks the myths that we have with perceptions revolving around personality. We don't have to be stuck in this same personality pattern for our entire lives, and studies show that your personality 10 years from now is going to be a different version of your current self. So over the course of 80 or 90 years, you will have major shifts, events, and perspectives, and all of these things will change the way that you function as a human being and interact with the world. Again, that's Personality Isn't Permanent by Benjamin Hardy. I would recommend this book. Everything in here so far has had me turning the page, eager to see what would come to follow. But Ryan Holiday, I think right now there's just nothing better for the average person to dive into, and I'm curious to see what sort of feedback people have revolving around him. He was I don't know if you're familiar with the American Apparel tragedy, that you have this egomaniac that has a $1 billion company that is just on the up and up, but he is just a maniac and brings his entire company down with him, and goes from just on top of the world to nothing overnight. And Ryan Holiday was there for the whole ride, so that's some interesting perspective. And he is just very good at boiling points down, just very straightforward, very easy to digest. There's not, it's just, this is a great book. If you haven't read a book in the past year or the past 5 or 10 years, this is the book you want to start with. I would start with Courage is Calling. He has other great books. Ego is the Enemy is a good book. It will make you take a little bit more of a look inside and see what's going on with you. It might be hard for some people with Ego is the Enemy because it really makes you check yourself, and a lot of people aren't ready for that sort of discomfort. But Obstacle is the Way is really good, and he has about somewhere around a dozen books, and I plan on getting through most of them. It's just really good stuff. His favorite book is, just for some, just to sort of paint the picture, his favorite book is Meditations. He said he read it over 100 times, by Marcus Aurelius. And Meditations was a book that wasn't even intended to be a book. It was basically a set of notes that Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in order to keep him humble, to try to keep him in check with himself, and to carry himself with virtue and make virtuous decisions and be a good leader. And he was the most powerful man in the world at the time, so it's pretty cool stuff. Just very, very intimate, very private, very in line with the average human frequency, and a lot of good reminders in there. So I would check out Meditations. I think the translation he recommends is Gregory Hayes. I agree. I initially started with like a Dover Thrift version of the book, and that was good, but the Gregory, I would get both of them, honestly. The Gregory Hayes version is just a lot more digestible, a lot more, it's just a lot clearer and translated more in depth than the other version. There's just more interpretation involved in the other, which is fun too, though. So I would encourage you to get both. The Dover Thrift version is a blue book, and then the Gregory Hayes version, if you're looking for it on Amazon, is the black one. That one's just good to have as something next to your bedstand or your toilet or something. That one just daily reminders. But yeah, I would just encouraging myself and people out there who would like to improve and sharpen themselves, that reading is the best way to do it. Readers are leaders. It rhymes, so it must be true. And yeah, it's just a good habit. Again, Ryan Holiday is a good starting point for a lot of people. I really like the self-help genre and the psychology genre. It helps me kind of learn about myself a little bit. I would encourage you can get 10 notepads off Amazon for $10. Jot down the stuff that you like and that you can share with others or just live by, or good reminders for yourself. I think taking notes is really beneficial for getting points to stick and things to share. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got on that. But see you soon. Get out there, move around, spread some love, spread some positivity, and I will be heading off to the gym now. See you next time.